Hi, it's Dave Johan for the Boxing Voice. Pleased to be joined this time by Hannah the Hurricane Baggaley. How are you?
Hi, yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm really good, thanks.
Good stuff. So, for those that don't know you, you're making some good waves into the boxing world. You're now 1-0. Your last victory came out in September of last year with a TKO victory. You've also had an exhibition against Hannah Rankin as well, which I want to talk to you about because experience is wonderful. So, how did you get into the sport first of all?
I sort of like fell into it. I didn't really mean to sort of box as such or fight. I was a bit of a tearaway like when I was younger, and I had a lot of energy, a lot of anger. And my dad just said to me, "You need to get into a sport." So I started running. I started running club, and then did that for like quite a few years. Didn't really enjoy it after a while, and so I decided to try boxing. Loved it, but then got a social life and decided, right, I'm going to give this up for a couple of years or whatever. So a couple of years went by, and I ended up getting back into it about 7 years later. So I started when I was 14, and then I didn't get back into it till I was like 21. So then with the training side of things, I was really enjoying it. We had no intentions in actually having a fight, and then my coach, who was letting me train at the gym at the time, he was just showing me a couple of things, and there was a girl fighting on his show, and he needed somebody to spar her. So obviously I didn't even know what I was doing, but he just said, "Oh, get in and I'll guide you." And then she ended up saying she didn't want to fight. Like, she didn't realize it would feel the way it did to actually be in the ring with somebody else. And that must have been her first time sparring. But he'd sold quite a few tickets on the fact that it was like there was a woman's bout on it. Because even back then, when I first had my fight, it wasn't very common for like women's boxing. So he was like, "Right, you're gonna have to replace her." Like, I've been hyping it up, saying like there's women on the card. So
Even
I was
back
like,
then
right,
as well,
okay
though,
then.
because like even back then, even when you had like Katie, Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields making noise as well. Even back then, it was still about the same, was it?
Yeah, it still wasn't very common. And
Yeah.
if I'm correct, back then, I think Katie would have only just turned professional. So it still wasn't hugely recognised. And so, yeah, it was just, so he basically just said, like, "Please, can you take a place?" So I said, yeah. And that's how I started fighting, basically. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! Because I've read somewhere as well. You had quite a bit of an amateur circuit as well on white collar with your partner as well, didn't you? You went on a bit on an undefeated run, should we just say, as a partnership? Is that right?
Yeah, so like not many people ever actually acknowledge that or even know about that. So that's quite funny that you even knew that existed, because I have said it once before in a couple of interviews, but not many people ever ask me about that side of it in terms of like when I was doing it with my partner. But yeah, so basically we decided, I lost my first two fights. But they were terrible. Like, it was not boxing. And then I gave it up again for a couple of years, and then decided to come back to the sport halfway through like my Australia experience. I came home just for a little bit, and we were going back to Australia, and for some reason me and my partner decided that we were going to go to the boxing gym and start fighting. So I don't know why we did it, but we did it, even though we knew we were going back to Australia. So we had about 8 months, and I was fighting like every other week. I think I had like 10 or 11 fights in those 8 months, and so did he. He just used to fight, I would fight, we would go down, and we had an unbeaten stint on the road, which is probably usually unheard of. But yeah, there was a couple of stoppages, there was a couple of there was a TKO, there was a clean KO. And my partner, I think, pretty much stopped near enough everybody. There was only a few that he didn't, that he got the decision, and they were still really good fights. So yeah, it's funny that you even know about that. Most people don't ever ask about the side of where me and my partner did it.
Because it's the reason I ask as well is because Fabio Wardley came from a white collar background as well, and now he's, let's just say, a household name in the boxing world as well.
So did Hannah Rankin.
So did Hannah Rankin, absolutely,
yeah.
and now she's a world champion. So what's the leap like between jumping from white collar to being a professional? Is it a massive jump?
Yeah. Like, I didn't realize how far apart, because a lot of people say that amateur is more far apart style than pro, but it's the level. The level of boxing just changes completely. And I soon realised when I turned pro and I started sparring professional girls that had already been doing it for quite a while, that there was a certain level. And if you didn't have a boxing IQ, no matter how good your power was or whatever, like, it was pointless, because it would be nullified. So I soon realised that I was nowhere near as good as I thought I was. Like, not even close. So yeah, I think there's a huge difference.
And now you've, your first victory was a fantastic TKO win. So you've got the debut sort of thing ticked now. Before we go on to when your second fight is, what was that experience like, fighting on a show, finally a professional one, in front of people, post COVID and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Like, we'd had that many letdowns, and I think that was like the 5th scheduled bout to actually like happen. So at that point, right up until the day that she weighed in, I was convinced it wasn't going to happen. So I was just not getting excited for it. Wasn't hyped. It was probably a bad thing because mentally I just thought it's not going to happen. Then we weighed in, and she weighed in quite a lot heavier, and the Board of Boxing Control pulled it and said, are you all right to fight at this weight? And I think there was how much weight difference was there? I don't know. I think it was like a stone.
Wow.
So there was quite a bit, and I know that Arnie wasn't best pleased about it, but so I was just like, no, it's fine. Like, don't even try and make the weight. Like, I'm not bothered, because I was just like, I just wanted the fight. So right up into going into it, I just thought, this needs to get over with. Like, I just want the debut out of the way. But yeah, like, it didn't feel any different, because I'm used to fighting on the road, and that is a feeling where it's a bit different to you get there and you're getting booed, and it's not a nice environment. So I don't actually mind fighting in front of people that you don't know, because in that crowd, it was just on one of Frank Warren's dinner shows, and there was nobody that I knew there. I had no fans there, because we were just the entertainment for the evening, and I just got a last minute squeeze on the show as a favour because we got let down again. So there was no fans of mine there. There was no pressure, and that's what I'm used to anyway. People were actually cheering her before we got in the ring, because a lot of the time, people want to see you like lose, don't they? If like you're cocky or whatever. There's a lot of jealousy, so I don't know, it's weird. Like, I heard a few girls shout Boris's name, but then when we started fighting, like, there was a lot of cheers for me, so I didn't mind it, to be honest.
No, that's good. And you've also shared the ring with two-time world champion Hannah Rankin. So the Battle of the Hannahs, which was an exhibition. Strange, because that was, I suppose, it's come sooner rather than later, and it was an exhibition. How was that experience, sharing that with Hannah Rankin?
I was more nervous for that than the actual fight, because it was a different setting. I'd sold loads of tickets. My fans were there. Obviously, I knew that her level and my experience were completely like worlds apart. And also, it's like someone that you're possibly going to be fighting in the future, because we're similar weights. So it was like, and we'd also been told by the board, you will get sanctioned if you even try to like knock each other out. So don't be doing anything stupid, because there's no official winner. And they said, don't be getting excited on the inside. Don't try and even fight on the inside. This is about to show your skills so that you can still get in the ring. This is not a fight with that. Obviously, we did get a little excited at some point because you can hear on it both our coaches shouting like Hannah. Even the ref come up to us whilst we're in the middle of the ring, trading a couple of shots. Nothing crazy, but like we did let go a little bit. And the ref come in the middle and said, "Right, you're getting too excited now. Like stay apart, basically." You heard Hannah's coach at one point saying, like, "Stop throwing the right hand now, go for a walk," because we were getting told off quite a bit. So it's very hard. It was a really, really hard experience because your natural instinct is to want to fight or box and do it properly and ping the head off. But then obviously she's there doing you a favour. So one, I've got to try and be respectful of that. And two, it's really hard to fight your natural instinct of when someone is like in the ring with you, you want to counter or you want to throw, and I'd have preferred to fight her in terms of like self-control. It was so hard, and she agreed that she would never do one again because the urge to want to react, it like natural instinct is just crazy, especially the crowd. So yeah, we both agreed like we'd probably never do an exhibition again.
but
not even just with each other.
Yeah, it could be someone down the line where you could actually fight for titles again, because it's same weight division and everything.
Yeah. I did say to her like it was a weird experience going from like being a fan to sharing the ring with someone I'm potentially going to be fighting one day, and she found it funny. So yeah, it was a nice experience. She's a lovely girl.
Yeah, we've had her on the show before. I was going to say, being from up north as well, Lancashire you're from, aren't you? So have you met Tyson Fury?
I have met Tyson Fury because my friend Wardy puts on all the Gold Star promotion shows, and he's like one of the promoters there. I'm not sure what his role is, but he's very, very like well in. And he was kind enough when he noticed us at the Tyson Fury homecoming like chat to introduce us. So me and my friend Sarah, he said, "Oh, come." And I thought he said, like, "Where are you?" I said, "We're sat on the balcony, but like in front of him." And he said, "Come and meet me here quickly." So I was like, all right then, thinking he was going to get us like nice, like better seats. And he took us, then we started like walking through all these like back like entries and stairs around the back of this thing. And I was like, and I turned around to Sarah and I said, I think we're going to his dressing room. And she was like, "Surely not." And I was like, "No, I think we are." And then he went, and then Wardy went, "Come on, get your camera ready." So I was like, "Oh my God, like we're going to meet him." So then we walked in the room and he was there with like his family and stuff, and Gareth Davis, that the interviewer, they were all sat there, getting ready to go on stage. So Wardy was just like, "Quickly go and get your picture." So I got a picture, and he just like asked me a little bit about my boxing, and just said like, "See you on the other side." And it was short but very sweet. And then I posted a picture the next night, and he retweeted it, which was nice. So yeah, it was an experience. So I have met him, but not in the scenario of the fact that we live in Lancashire, because it was actually in Manchester that I met him.
Oh, okay. And when are you out next in action? So this year, have you got any dates penciled in so far? Anything on TV as well?
Yes. So the next bout is at the end of March at Manchester Victoria Warehouse, on one of Alfie's friends' show. So that will be Esther Konechia, I think. Don't quote me. That's who we were trying to get for the last fight, but she couldn't make it. So because she fought Alice Hopkins the week before. So it was like 5 days before, so there weren't enough time lapse for the next fight, basically. So that's who we're planning to get, because she said she would definitely fight me for the next bout. So, and then the next show after that will be the Queensbury show, and that will be around April, May time, if I'm correct. I don't know for sure. I don't know the dates, but yeah, that's roughly what we're looking at, and that will be televised.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sort of rumour circulating who that's going to be potentially as well in terms of the main event. I mean, Joe Joyce has been circulating as well, but no doubt we'll find out soon. What fights are you looking forward to as a fan as well? You're going to be watching Brook versus Khan. Finally, that's going to be happening. I mean, it's a bit past its sell-by date, isn't it? But it's still going to be happening.
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, I think that it's still going to be just as good, just as exciting, because now it's been so long coming that they've both got points to prove, and they finally made the fight. So yeah, I do think that I personally don't think it's past the sell by date, because I'm just excited to see it. So yeah, who do you think's going to win?
Well, I'll ask you. I never ever pick a. Yeah, what do you reckon?
Why? Why do you never pick, just in case you interview them?
No. I just sit completely on the fence on
why though?
Like that. It's one of those, isn't it? Just I always ask the fighter, because obviously you guys have, you've got ring experience and so on and so forth. We can always look at fights and analyze them afterwards. But in terms of that, the Battle of the North, should we just say? I mean, has Kell Brook still got the power? Has Amir Khan still got the speed? I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Even now, some people are saying yes, it's past the sell by date, but it's like anything can happen on the day.
I think the exact same, in terms of it's very hard to pick, because two different things, two different styles. So I would say if Amir can, if Khan can keep it sharp and stay like on form for the full fight, then I think he would win, because I think he's a better boxer. However, if he switches off for a split second and Brook puts it on him, we all know Amir Khan's chin isn't very good, so it could end quite quickly. So I really don't know on that one. That is one that I am going to sit on the fence with. But if I had to edge more to one, I would say Khan.
Yeah, some people are sort of doing that. You've mentioned someone as well that is in your weight division, I believe, as well, Alice Hopkins. So very similar sort of career path to you in terms of number of. I mean, she's had, I think now 2 or 3. You've had 1. She's had 3. She made a debut a few years ago.
I've watched them all.
What do you reckon of her career so far? What do you reckon of her career so far? It's flourishing, or?
Yeah, standard, isn't it? Pretty, like, we fought the same person for our debut. She went 4 rounds with her, and I stopped her in 2. So, and then she's fought Esther recently. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Esther with me. But yeah, I mean, someone I'm going to be fighting, so I'm not going to big her up. Or, it's someone that I plan to fight in the future. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything really on a career. I'll just let my boxing do the talking on that one.
Good stuff. Watch this space, isn't it? Watch this space. So just before we wrap this up then, is there anything, well, first of all, tell us where everyone can follow you, and have you got any shout outs? And you've told us your fight date anyway.
Yeah, so I've got a few social medias at the minute. So but my Instagram is Hannah Baggaley with a kiss at the end. My Twitter is Baggaley Han. Obviously you can link them below, because most people won't know how to spell my second name if they don't already know me. And yeah, just shout out to all my sponsors, really. I've got a really big list of sponsors this time for this fight, but my main sponsors that have sponsored me through every fight has been I Prep For You, Vulture VPN, the Warren Boxing Management. They've done a bit with me. They've been really good because of all the and stuff. My coach, just standard really. Standard sponsors.
Oh, brilliant. And just one quick one. Your coach at the moment, former world champion, wasn't he, in the WBU?
Yeah.
So how's that experience working with a former world champ? I mean, is it a case of he talks about the game as it was before and incorporate that from a coaching standpoint? I bet it's invaluable experience, isn't it?
Yeah, he's amazing. He adapts to training all the time. We're always changing what we're doing. We're always learning new things. So we've got to a point now where we're starting to add just little things into the boxing that, will make a difference in the fight. And he's definitely turned me into a different fighter. So I always believed that I was I was just a 1-2, like a straight punching boxer, because I was quite tall compared to what I used to be when I was fighting people when I was like lightweight and featherweight. I used to be quite tall, but when we've moved up to natural weight, like girls are probably similar height, maybe sometimes bigger. So he's turned me into this little animal. And just recently, in the last probably month or so, my boxing has changed so much. So I'm dying to get out there and just show the difference within the skill set of Borislava's fight when, you know, my debut was. So I really can't wait to just show this different style that I've got now. And I've realized that there isn't one style if you're going to be like successful in boxing. You need to be able to adapt to whoever you're fighting in the ring. So that's why we have to really make sure that it's not just about what style I want. It's about being able to just do what I need to do to win the fight when you get in that ring. And he's released like a different level of hunger inside me. So yeah, it's amazing.
Brilliant. Hannah, listen, all the best from the Boxing Voice, and hopefully we'll catch you again on the show. And brilliant. Thanks for taking time out tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. You take care.
So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Untitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.